Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, Big Blue Drew 97 here to talk to you about Nanatsu no Taizai, manga chapter 341, titled Kath Palug. For some bad reason, I just want to call him Kath Plagueis because Star Wars, also because his name just sounds like Darth Plagueis. But yes, Kath Palug. And yes, Kath has returned, as we saw in the previous chapter. And in this chapter, it's just a continuation of it, like normally how stories work, just continuing from one part of the story to the other. But to start off, we just see the cover page of the chapter, which is just, Kath and his differences, like how he used to be this like adorable little cat. It looks like he could go into like Monster Rancher or Monster Quest, just this little thing, and then turns into like this just demon lynx cat with literally like a Joker smile going from ear to ear, which in all honesty, I think like among like all like the villain designs, I think just Cath Plagueis, Cath Palug just takes the cake with like his aesthetic, and it's mainly because it's beast like, but he also looks extremely evil. So yeah, but after that we actually get the continuation for what Gother was saying in last chapter, where he was basically in last chapter. He's like, "Yo, Meliodas, that's you're wrong. You're wrong about like what Merlin was doing," and we kind of get the explanation for what that is, where it's like, do you know why? You want to know that why? I'm trying to think. How would he sound? Because I have not been working on it. I'm just gonna go with the high pitch. Like, do you not know why Merlin left? Like, why she couldn't tell us about that? The answer is quite simple. Yeah. It's what she wanted to do. We all had our own desires, especially wanting to be granted. And at least with Merlin, if she had told us, yeah, we would have just trampled all over them. Which is basically what he says. The gist of it is like Merlin had her own desire, and her desire was to resurrect chaos. And while all of the other sins like Bond, Diane, Meliodas, they had their own desires. Even Elizabeth had her own desires. Merlin most likely knew that if she had told them about it, they would have chances high enough they would have said, "Yo, no, you shouldn't do that. That's stupid. You shouldn't resurrect chaos because like that's just a stupid idea." And like kind of like what that would have done, it would have been like trampling over King's dream of like, "Oh no, King, you can't marry Diane. She's a giant. You're stupid." Or Meliodas like, "You can't take down the Demon King to release Elizabeth from her curse. That's stupid." And I think that's what he says. He says, "Oh gosh, that is what Gother says." I forgot his name. Basically, the gist of it is like, "Yo, we would have just like said it was dangerous and like she couldn't do it," and like Diane's like, "Well, yeah." So like that makes sense that she couldn't tell us. And King is like, "But it's still dangerous though." And I'm like, "Well, yeah," but then Gother brings up a point that I was thinking like the entire time, and something I talked about in the last video about the last chapter is that it depends on who uses it. Because as Merlin and the Lady of the Lake decided that chaos is neither good nor evil, it is just chaos. And as I was talking about when it came to Arthur's sword with the dark and the light, like he has like power over it, and like the reason why it was dark light is because he still had kind of that darkness in him. But like once he like realized his goal of like, "Yo, I'm gonna save the world and like make a kingdom that everyone enjoys for," then chaos can be used for good. While in the case of Cath, when we see like that dark world with like the distorted like bodies, the demon, like the horrific graphics, that shows how chaos can be used with darkness. So it just depends on like who uses it. And that's something that Gother brings up and something that I brought up in last episode. So, yay, me and Gother had the same idea about what chaos is. But Big King, was like, "But she still used us." And then also Jaleshi's like, "Yeah, she also helped us, like literally, like we couldn't defeat the Demon King without her. Sure, it was for her greater plan, but like there were like a lot of things that she could have done that like she didn't really need to achieve her goal, but she did that because we were friends." And then Bonch is like, well, yeah, I guess. So like And what makes it even better is he also talks about like, yeah, she and like even now like she resurrected chaos and she helped fulfill the sin's desire. So like there was really at this moment no real reason to keep it a secret from us because her desire had already been accomplished. And so Gotha just goes on this, and his King's like, "You're taking Merlin's side a lot in this chapter. Like, what are you doing?" And Gotha's like, "I'm not taking anyone's side." It's like, and then King like brings the facts like, yeah, it's kind of like what the Lady and Lake say. Like, how can like every one of these different species like really get along with each other? And I just enjoy how Bod is like, that's why we couldn't have common grounds. And I'm like, Bod, no, no. It's not because you're human. It's because you're Bond. And like basically King calls him out and is like, oh, that has nothing to do with it. I don't even consider you human. Also, shut up. But then Gother chimes in once again, is like, well, I'm not a species, nor am I human. I'm a dog. And I think because of that, like, I cherish y'all all the most. Like, it doesn't matter about your rank. It doesn't matter if you're a human, you're an elf, you're a fairy, you're a giant, you're a demon, you're an angel. I'm a doll, so I have no real, like, bias for that. And I'm like, thank you, Gother. Thank you. Best boy Gother right here. Best boy Gother. It's right here in the chapter. Shows how great he is, not as a character, but also shows like how much he has grown over the past like 300 plus chapters. And like everyone's like, oh yeah, pretty sure this is something that Escanor would say. And then all of a sudden we have Meliodas just chiming in. It's like, yeah, even so, yeah, she needs to take responsibility for what she did. And like Gother's like, wait, were you not listening to what I said? Like, for the past, like, 5 pages, were you not listening, Meliodas? And then everyone just, like, you just hear, like, Meliodas just like, do you guys feel that? And they feel Kath's magic. They realize that he's back and that he is fighting Merlin, which we cut right to, like, just Merlin and Kath just blowing stuff up, going blow to blow. Not Meliodas, Merlin using her magic and just throwing buildings, throwing attacks at Kath. Kath swipes at her, she disappears, comes back and just throws down a bunch of lightning bolts. Just lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. And Kath is like, you ain't doing nothing. Throws an energy blast. It's just all of these attacks. And then like towards the end of like that just first stage, it's like, you're not the one that I want to play with. And then Arthur's like, then I'll be your opponent. And just begins to like slash up Kath. But then his like body's like, whoop, that's, and then he like just makes this smart comment like, it's gonna take more than slashing me up to kill me. And then Kaz's like, and then Arthur's like, fine. As like the king of Camelot, the king of this land, I will do anything to protect my people. And then we have like a very good scene of just like multiple swords just coming out behind him, just made of energy, just about to launch at him. And then Kath, being the evil douche nozzle that he is, drops a truth bomb that Merlin was going to drop next chapter. So there's a lot of stuff that we just continuing from the last chapter to this one, where he tells him, like, oh, you wanted to protect your kingdom and its people? Yeah, even though something like that is gone and we get freaking cast laugh, it's poo coo 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 coo. And I'm like, and Arthur's like, what? What? He's like, oh, did you not know? Camelot was destroyed when the sins fought the Demon King. Okay, yeah, I think I know what Cat's voice is. Like just evil, sniveling evil. And then he's like, if you think that's a lie, then why don't you look for yourself? You have the power to do so. And Arthur instinctively was like, oh no. No. And he just sweat dropped his lips like, oh no, it's true. And like he senses like, it can't be. No. It's like, I'm looking at the land that is formerly Camelot, and Merlin is like trying her hardest to like calm him down. Okay, Arthur, it's okay. The people who were under the control were actually they're back in Britannia, so it's all good. It's all great. You don't have to worry about it. And then Arthur's like, but what about the people that were underground? And Merlin just has this exclamation mark of like, wait, there were people in the ground. And he's like, yeah, there's so many people. They were waiting for their loved ones to come back. And I promised them that I would protect them and bring them back to Camelot. I promised. And then, like, he's, like, about to just, like, cry. And then Kath just takes his advantage and just steps on him. Just steps on him. But luckily enough, you know, Arthur, King of Chaos, power of everything, shoots lightning to, like, get Kath out of his head. Where Kath is just saying, ouch! But after that, he just falls unconscious. And let me just say this, like, oh, we do not see the sword in this scene, but I'm fairly certain that a few little bats are appearing on it. We don't see it, but I know for certain that the sword is, like, partially black now, which isn't a good thing. But yes, like, Merlin just goes back on the offensive, trying to attack Kath. Kath dodges it, jumps above Merlin, slaps her down, and just all of a sudden just shoots, like, just a bunch of, like, tentacle arrow things out of his mouth made of energy at Merlin. Merlin's, like, just looking up. It's like, huh, so this is how my life ends. Thrown to the ground by a demon cat with tentacle arrows aiming at me. I did not expect to die like this. And then all of a sudden, weirdly enough, Kath, just upper torso and, like, head just gets blown off. And then you just see the panel of just 2 words and a face. Full counter. Meliodas has come to save Merlin. Then we also get Merlin being healed by Elizabeth. And it's like, sis? And just Elizabeth's talking. It's like, oh, it's not just the 2 of us. And then we see all of the Sins just there screaming, Merlin! And Merlin picks up Arthur. Arthur is apparently unconscious. Yeah, that makes sense because he's probably given up hope. Oh, actually, no, I lied. The sword doesn't look like it's black. We do get to see the sword, so, like, he hasn't fully fallen to, like, the dark side of chaos, which is a good thing. But, like, chances are high enough that's going to come up very soon in this chapter. Not, well, very soon. Probably in next chapter. And also, another tiny nitpick is that there is actually, like, a panel of Merlin without, like, the scars on her face, as well as, like, probably, like, the scars on her hand. We don't really see those really at all, but I'm not sure if that's just an error with the scan or with the mangaka. If that's something else that I noticed, and it's kind of sad because I really like scars around her mouth. Like, I'm not saying I'm attracted to scars. I'm just saying, like, they do fit Merlin fairly well. And it's also, you know, tied to, like, Escanor, which is great. But then we just have Meliodas is like, hey, Merlin, yeah, you're going to take responsibility for resurrecting chaos. Yeah, you're going to need to spend your entire lifetime protecting and guiding Arthur. You know that, right, Merlin? And Merlin's just like, just looks at us like, yeah, I already knew that. You came all the way here to tell me that. I already knew that. And then it's like, Meliodas turns that around. It's like, also, yeah, we also have the responsibility for, like, and we are responsible for allowing your stupid actions to take place. So yeah, we're gonna protect you too. So yeah, so allow us to do that. And it's like just this nice scene where you just see, like, all of the, like, sins just covered in, like, a bright bubbly light, and they're all smiling, and Merlin's like, I'm grateful. And then the chapter ends. And then apparently the title of the next chapter is Cry of Victory. Yeah, no, I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh my gosh. So let's basically run through it. Like, this chapter is literally a direct, like, almost like verbatim, point for point, like, points we didn't address last chapter immediately get addressed in this chapter. Specifically what Gother said when it comes to what Merlin was going to say to Arthur when it came to, like, Camelot. Literally all gets, like, talked about here. He doesn't drag it out. It doesn't get dragged out. If anything, what I enjoyed, like, probably most of this chapter is just Gother just confirming, like, a lot of what I thought. Which is like, yeah, it makes sense like why she wouldn't tell us, because if we didn't, then we would have ridiculed her, because it is her dream to do this. And like, who are we to judge like her dream? And like, that's something that I enjoy. Even when like King like fought back, I'm like, yeah, yeah, like it's her dream, but like it was like like it was a horrible one, like literally bringing out like a power that rivals, not even rivals, dwarfs the gods themselves, and then putting that into literally a child. Like, yeah, like logically, like no, but like that was just her dream to like resurrect chaos, as well as making Arthur the controller of chaos. So like I enjoyed that like duality, and I enjoyed how like it like directly continues what we learned last chapter about like, and also referencing like the Lady of the Lake, where she's like, well, yeah, like you like with this power, like humans and other creatures, they may not be able to get along, but the Sin show that they can. Even though like, and also I enjoy how like King points out, I was like, oh, that's why we could never get along. Like Bond, like talks to King, and King, just like, no, that has nothing to do with it. By the way, I don't consider you human. By the way, shut up. So yeah, I enjoyed that interactions between the Sin, and I also did enjoy like what Kath did was like that psychological like torturing of Arthur. It's like, oh yeah, don't you remember Camelot? It's gone now. just being like just evil piece of cat shit is what Kath is. But like overall, really did enjoy the chapter. If I could give it a score, probably going to be just a solid 4. Like if anything, the nitpick of like not seeing like, it was just like one small scene and it was in the background, but I saw Merlin's face and it did not show like her scars. And I feel as if like that's probably something I'm gonna be looking at, because like that's just like an important part of her character now. Like how she was able to like, we know that she like thought, we know she views the Sins as friends and family, but she also never thought that she was deserving of love. And like accepting the burns on her face shows that yes, like I am accepting of love of you, uh, Escanor. Whether or not like I can reciprocate those feelings, just the fact that there's at least someone in this world that truly loves me is something that I will keep with me. And like the scars on her face as well as her hands are just physical representations of it. So if I don't see that in the chapter, I'm gonna call it out, and chances are high enough it could be a 5 out of 5 chapter. But if she doesn't have the scars on her face, it will bring it down to a 4.5. But yeah, all in all, really good chapter. Really enjoy how it just continues everything from the last chapter. What's gonna happen next, I don't know. It's gonna be a wild ride, and hopefully y'all can continue watching this ride with me when I review the 7 Deadly Sins, hopefully next week, because I do not think they're on break. So hopefully you like, comment, subscribe on this video, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you in the next one. Goodbye for now.